I'm finally here, but our camera is not working on OBS for some reason. I had it working just fine, and every time you get something working and you go live, everything wants to mess up. But you're going to see what I do now. You should see Windows 7 come up on the screen. I'll be able to see the chat in just a minute. I'm going to work on the camera for a minute too. I don't understand why it all of a sudden is giving me an issue. It's just my luck. I've been fighting a shingles virus for a week too. I got it on my leg, and I'll tell you guys and gals, I haven't been feeling too good. But I wanted to get the live stream done because I got the Dell XPS out. That's what you're going to see up there because I put the information up. I don't know what is going on. Our webcam is working fine. Connecting to the PC is a webcam, and I can see it fine. And I can get it to work in OBS, and then it goes away. So I don't know what in the heck is going on with this thing, but it's it's actually pissing me off. So if you see a blank screen, you'll know that I'm working at it. I'm going to go ahead and add another screen. See, there's my camera block right there, and it's blank. So this is what's got me aggravated now, and it's what I'm working on. If I can isolate that block, I don't know why the camera is not showing up. So I'm going to unplug the camera, restart it. And I'm going to try this one more time because what's the definition of insanity? Okay, now it shows USB connected. Now it shows the webcam is live. So we got the webcam working, the software pulled up on it. And let's see if it shows up on the OBS. And the answer to that question is a resounding no. I don't get it. If I do the preview on the camera, open it up and preview it, it's working fine. Right there, it's showing the camera working just fine, but I cannot get this thing to work on here. We go scene 2. That's without the camera. So at least there we can see exactly what we're working on, right? I mean, that shows that we have the Dell XPS out with the Windows 7. I had a different plan for today's live stream, but Amazon threw a wrench in that by not delivering stuff on time. So had I've got the timely deliver, I would have had a package of USB flash drives in which I would have used one of those new ones because all of mine, miraculously, all my flash drives have pretty much quit. So I have one good working one with a Linux install on it, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I don't know what is going on with my camera, but I would really like to have it. We are on the editing rig. The camera is working, so I think it's a problem with OBS, to be honest with you guys. I think OBS is what's causing all my issues right here. So I'm going to go in and see if I can change something on the lens mode. Well, that just broke completely. Now the whole camera app locked up. This is grand. This is perfect. You couldn't ask for a better way to start a stream. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Steve. This thing worked brilliantly. And I'm not kidding you guys. Up until I went to start the live stream, and then the camera was gone. So now the software is locked up on the camera. I'm going to have to close it out. And it says the GoPro's not responding. Maybe that's the issue. I'll let it close out on its own, and then I will go ahead and refire the GoPro and see if that fixes it now. Maybe it was the software in the computer. We are on the Asus motherboard that we did, the Z97, that I told you we were going to put in the editing rig. That's exactly what's in it. So you can see that it has not brought back my camera yet. So that failed to work, actually. Yeah, that's because the software with the drivers isn't on. The only way I can fix that is to do a complete restart on the computer, and I'm not going to do it. We can see from the what you're looking at is the computer that I'm working on. So this is the Dell XPS 630i desktop. And what we're going to do on it, I don't know yet, but we do have it connected to the internet. Anybody remember the old Windows Experience Index? So there's the score right there on this one. This is running the stock stuff, basically, with the R9 270 graphics card. And I did a video on this one when I built it. So that video's in there. Let's see what our message is. Windows Defender needs to scan the computer. How many of you still mess around with Windows 7? Put your hand up. We still have the old Nova Bench install on here. If I look at all programs, I can probably find it right there, Nova Bench. We'll fire that up real quick. This brings back nostalgia when I look at that. So you see we're running at 2.9 gigahertz on our Q6600. 8 gigs of RAM and a R9 200 series, which is actually an R9 272 gig. So we're going to go ahead and run this test real fast on it, and then I'm going to see what will work on this thing. Because I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we can do on Windows 7 anymore, what games we can even download or anything like that to test. I know I have my older racing games, but we need to have it hooked up to a steering wheel and pedals, right? So I don't know about that. Might be something we try, but probably what I'm going to do is end up shutting this one down, and we're going to put the Z440 up here and go ahead and I'll show you where I got World of Tanks working on Linux. That one was actually a pretty easy one with the Valve Proton. Once I figured out that you had to download the libraries for the, what do they call them, the runtime libraries. Once I got that figured out, and I did that with a GTX 1070 running Zorin OS Pro. So there's our score right there. We got a 963 total on this thing, 149 on the RAM, 404 on the CPU, 383 on the graphics, and 24 on the hard drive, which is a 240 gig SSD. So if you hit the compare results online, it's going to have a connection error now because this is an old Nova Bench. That's nothing new right there. We do have a working Mozilla Firefox, as you can see right here. And I did that by using one of Mozilla's last working ESRs that they still update, actually. So as far as I know, they still update this. And if you want to test that theory, you can go to YouTube and just pull up any random video, because I'm not. Well, we'll pull up mine. Or pull up 100 more while we're doing it. We can just pull up a random one here. And you can see if the browser was out of date, it wouldn't let us do that, right? Doesn't this have a dark mode on it? Probably find that in the settings. There we go. Let's put the dark mode on. It makes it a little bit easier on a guy's eyes. And we'll just refresh this. So we are on the main editing rig with the Z97 on it, which is good. And we do have the capture card working. That's how you see me running the Dell XPS like it is now. I really like to get this camera working, and that's got me really mad. I'm going to give it one more shot to get it going. And then we're probably going to, since I don't know, I don't have any old games in mind to throw on this. You can't make Steam work on that Windows 7 anymore because it's no longer supported. So that's not going to happen. I need to figure out how to get my, let me see if I can find, there we go, GoPro webcam. I'm going to double click it and start it manually and see what it does. Go to preview mode and it's showing the camera is active. Go to lens mode. Let's set it for, we're set on narrow lens now. So let's just keep it set there. And then let's go back over here. And no, the camera is still not there. What is going on? Let's just start another scene real quick. You're going to lose and go black screen for a second, because I'm going to see if I can just get the camera to show up by itself. No, it's not working. So we can't even get that to show up by itself. Unbelievable. I don't know how. I worked on this thing until I got it working right, okay? And everything was fine until I literally went to start the stream, and then boom, nothing's working. So I got the capture card to show up, and it's working okay now. And we're going to close this out because you should be looking at the same thing I do. The problem is the camera isn't going to work, so you're actually going to dark out when I shut this down. It's just going to go to a black screen. But you'll see it come back up when we put our next computer up here. I really want to do something with the Dell, but I didn't have time to put any games or download any games on it yet. So we're just going to have to wait on that and probably address it in the future. But I have been messing around with the Z440 again, because I've been doing games. Well, not games, because I only have a 128 gig hard drive until our SSDs come in from eBay. And my NVMEs have not come in yet. It's been about 2 weeks, but it said it was going to take a while, probably because whoever I bought them from got them from AliExpress or somebody, would be my guess. So they have to wait for them to come in, because they're actually listed in Davie, Florida, which should only be, 2-day shipment to where I'm at in Florida. So we're going to have to wait for them. This is actually doing some updates, but these are updates that just wasn't done yet, obviously. So yes, if you install Windows 7, it will still go to Microsoft Server, and it will still grab the updates for it. I have learned that. I've seen conflicting reports that the servers have been shut down for it, but that's not actually the case. It will go and grab updates if your machine doesn't have them, and Windows 7 will update normal on it. So this is Home Premium. Just so you guys know, I got this plugged into my wireless cellular router. I'm not really worried about any invasions into that or any hacks into it, because none of these are signed into anything that's really gonna gain anyone any access to my personal information. So I guess I'm gonna have to wait for this to, well, it says don't unplug it, but we don't have time, so we're just gonna pull the cord on it. You'll be able to see me, but you won't, or you'll be able to hear me, but you won't see me. I'm going to get this one unhooked and out of the way so we can get our next suspect up here. Oofta. And you'll see that is a heavy machine. That 630i is one heavy desktop. The Z440 is not super light, but it ain't near as heavy as that other one is. Let's see how quick we can get this thing hooked up here. We got our keyboard. You'll know because you'll see it light up when it lights up. This has Zorn OS on it. Oh, let's get our Etherweb hooked up here. We'll play a little bit of World of Tanks on this thing. That way you can see how it works. This is just basically the stock Z440. I got 64 gigs of RAM in it. And I have the GTX 1070 graphics card, so you should see something coming up on your screen pretty quickly here. I gotta move this XPS out of my way so I don't break my neck on it. Yep, it's come. Well, I'm glad it's coming up on your screen. There we go. It come up on the capture card before it come up on my end, which makes sense because it runs to the capture card first. I don't know why it does a green background like that. That part don't make sense to me. But we'll get logged into our Zorn real quick here. And you can see I got low disk space, only 37.5 megabytes of disk space remaining. That was installing Steam in one game, literally. So that's what led to that. We're going to ignore that for now. I really like this install on the Z440. And we're running more of like a Windows 11 layout now. So I'm going to go in here and open my Steam up. Just like that. We're going to see how that comes up. This is all on the 32-inch, or not the 32, but the 24-inch curved monitor that I got in that last marketplace find that was up on Tuesday night's video. So we are using that monitor here on the test station now. And that's because it takes the newer HDMI protocols too. So I triggered Steam to start, but I don't know if we got enough space on our hard drive to make it start. So here we go again. Gosh, only if Amazon would have come through and I would have got my USBs, I would be updating that BIOS on that Asus board. But here we go. Now I can't get my Steam to start up. So we'll try that one more time. And this before I unplugged it and shut it down, it was working fine too. So go figure this stuff out. You can't make it up. There we go. Says it's waiting for the network, so it should sign in now. Man, something's got to work right? All right, that's the store. I'm going to go to the library. We're going to go down here to World of Tanks. Oh no, it says update failed. Not enough disk space. They had an update. I just played it last night and tested it so I could do it on this stream, and now we're out of disk space for it. Oh, we need them hard drives to come in. Nothing is coming in when I need it to. Goodness, let's get some motherboards out and play with them then, but we're going to have a camera working to do that. And I'm sick with shingles on top of it. You just can't make this stuff up. Chat it up in there. At least we'll chat about something while I'm messing with this stuff. I did an update on my computer and a restart on this one, and I don't know why it goes from working to not working. And I think I honestly have had trouble with the OBS. The first time I tried to close the OBS down, it crashed. So I've had issues with that. I wonder if the stream will keep going if I shut the OBS down. Probably not. So we're probably going to have to leave it up, but there's clearly something wrong with it. I'm trying to figure out how to get this to work. Because if we don't have a camera, then we can't. There's no sense in working on any motherboards or anything. That's the whole issue. So I really need to get a camera. I'm just going to delete all this. I'm going to just remove it all, everything, all the scenes and all. So you guys are going to dark out for a second. Just trash can it. You'll see random stuff come up while I do this. Okay, so we got a scene there. Let's go video capture and go straight after our camera. Nothing. There it went. We got our camera. So I don't know what happened, but I got the camera to light up finally. All right, so can we shrink this down and get our background to work? Let's do it as a display capture. I think I can probably try that. Maybe it's our maybe the HD card's interfering with it. So let's do a display capture on that display next. So we'll go display capture, okay. Select display, we'll use that one, click OK. All right, but as soon as I go to put the camera back up, now the camera's blanked out. You see what I mean? That's what I'm fighting here. As soon as I added that in there, it blacked the camera out. So let's do this. Let's delete this stuff again. Unbelievable. Remove it. Yes. We'll add the display first. For those of you that don't think I did this in advance and had it working, trust me, I did. So let's see if we can get the GoPro to work now. Nope. There we go. We got it. Hopefully it's open. Yes. I think we're finally in business. Oh my goodness, that took long enough, but it took a little crazy maneuvering, but I think we got it. Unbelievable. All right, so now we have a camera. Now if we want to move motherboards around and we want to get busy on some stuff here, we can do it because we finally got our stream working right now. So good to see you and welcome back to the Sensation channel. You can see that technical problems have taken out half my stream, but we have the HP Z440 hooked up here, and we are about to shut it down and throw a power supply up here, and let's start. I got a motherboard. That's what we're going to do. Let me grab it. Well, I didn't mean to open up our web browser, but just hit our power button here so we can shut this guy down. Why is it jumping all over the place? I like this OS, the Zorn OS Pro. It's really user-friendly, so if any of you haven't tried Linux and you're thinking about it, I highly recommend it because it's really easy to use. So I do have the capture card, so you'll see as well as I do if what I pull out and select to work on today boots up or it doesn't. You'll see if it posts or it doesn't. That's the nice part about having that capture card. I'm going to move some stuff out of the way here. Obviously, get this one out of the way. I'm going to put it where I trip on it is probably the best thing to do with it. When you move it out of the way, just make sure you put it where you fall or trip on it. All right, so we're going to pull one out that I bought, and I don't think I videoed it yet. So that's what we're going to do. Let me rotate you guys around here where you can see what I see, and probably move you down a little bit because I got you tall on the post here. So we're going to crank you down, move you, and then we're going to rotate down to the motherboard. So that's what you're looking at. That is a Sabertooth 990FX R2.0 board. And this was the second one I bought that is in really, really good shape. And I believe we already got a CPU in it. There was a cooler on it until I just snapped that loose, but we'll pull it out here. The board's in really good shape, but this is one that I couldn't get the post. And I tried everything. I would have swore this guy would have worked. But let's just say it didn't. But we're going to throw it up here and hope and pray that maybe this thing sitting has decided to give it a new lease on life. But I'm going to doubt that it did that. I'm actually going to highly doubt that it did that. But let's be optimistic. And let's just say we're testing it for the first time here, which we're definitely not. So we'll get this power supply hooked up to it like we normally do to test these boards. Got that on there. Only difference, we don't have the, but this don't matter because when I tested it before, I tried it with a 4 and an 8 pin. It wouldn't power up either way. So let's get some memory here. We use our trusty 2 G-Skill Rip Joules, the blue sticks of RAM here. Slots 2 and 4. All right. And I can see the chat. Exactly. I mean, what fun would it be if it worked perfectly at the start, right? It's just the story of my life. I mean, and it's always worse when you're not feeling, 100%. So that always makes it more fun. Let's just say more fun. We're going to throw this little GT 730. That's what it is. So these have the PS2 port, my favorite. We don't really need Ethernet to post one, so we're not going to worry about hooking that crap up. We don't need a HDMI cable. Basically need a keyboard, mouse, and a monitor, right? So that's exactly what we're going to put to it right here. Since we got that hooked up, we're going to get our HDMI cable plugged in here. And you'll see it on the screen if it posts. That's the nice part about having a capture card. You'll see it you'll see it faster than I do, actually. Let's hope you see something. All right, so we got a green light on the motherboard. Sniff over it real good, because the 990FX was the board that we almost burnt the whole house down with. So here we go. All right, CPU fan is turning. Nothing is flamed out, but we are not doing anything. The CPU LED has not moved. It's just been stuck on red. Yeah, the memory's in it. So we know it's not even budging the CPU light. It's just stuck on red. So that doesn't even budge. Let's do this. I have more CPUs, these FX CPUs around here. Let's go ahead and pull this one out just for testing purposes and put another CPU in it. I'm pretty sure that I tried this before, but maybe I didn't. And maybe we actually are having a CPU problem. I don't know. These old AMDs you really have to be careful, because AMD in general, except for the AM5s, you have to be careful with, because it's easy to bend the pins on the CPUs taking the coolers off. Well, hey, Keithy. So we got Craig in here, Keithy, PC Steve. Good to have you guys in here. That's right. Craig Little, thank you very much, man. Welcome to Techie, buddy. That's what I like to see right there. All right, so let's go ahead. What do we got for a CPU in here? Let's find that out first. Let me wipe my minty toothpaste off here. That's not thermal paste, that's minty toothpaste. I got a whole tub of it. It says thermal paste, but I'm beginning to doubt that that's what it actually is. So we're going to pull that. We have a 6300. So what was that? 6300. 6-core AMD, that sound right? The 4300 was a quad core, 6300, 6100, 6 cores. And the 83, what do we got here? Our test subject is an AMD 8320. So I believe that's going to be an 8 core. That's what the 8 stands for. Huh. a little dark on that side, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. The AMDs are nice because they usually put a little arrow in the corner and then a dot in the corner of the CPU. So in fact, I know that it's probably going to go this way, but I'm going to check by where these little indentions are and I'm exactly right. So we're going to line that up. Set right down in there so we don't have any bent pins, which is a nice sign that it may or may not work, right? We're going to hope that it does work, but where's that tub of thermal paste so you guys can see it? I'm not making anything up. Oh, I got to take the cap out of it. This stuff's fun because you get it all over you. Oh, crap, I'm going to pull another computer up here after this, too, so stay tuned into this stream because this is going to get good. I was contemplating doing a stream on it. I told you guys that I helped my kid a long time ago, my oldest son, do a mini ITX board, and it turns out that I went through his bedroom and found it. You're going to love it. It's actually been sitting down here because the old Bit Phoenix case gave out on it and busted. So I did some Gorilla Glue on the thing and got it working again. Well, not working, but I'm going to throw that thing up here and we're going to fire up this little guy because I don't know if any of you have ever seen a motherboard from AMD like this one. Somewhere I had brushes to put this thermal paste on. Let's just not use that. I got some Cooler Master paste here. We're going to go ahead and use it instead, if I got enough of it. So here we go. Let's get a little CPU paste on it because I'll be honest with you, I don't really think that it's going to work. I haven't had any luck with this AMD FX stuff. I haven't. The A series, yes. All the newer stuff, the Ryzens, yes. This, absolutely not. So we'll get the fan plugged in. It goes on one of them. CPU fan right there. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get one that actually lights up here. It would be nice. I feel like I've just been wasting money on these FXs lately. That's why I'm reluctant to buy any more of them because I've been burned so much by them. Oh, what is going on with this thing? I like the new coolers better too. You guys tell me what you think about it. These little clip coolers. I guess if you did them more often, it probably wouldn't be as bad, but when you don't do them, they're kind of a pain. Oh, come on. Have you ever? All right, it's on there. That's on there. We should be able to clip it down just like that. All right. Good. Now let's put power to it and see what we get. Plug back in. Lights on. I don't hear no Rice Krispies there, no snap, crackler, pop, so that's a good sign, right? Yeah, bulldozer, that's right. Here we go. Let's see if we have any luck this time. Waiting, still waiting. That CPU light is not changing, just so you know. It is just staying red and it is not moving nowhere. And that tells me that we have a dead 990FX R2.0 board. The one that caught on fire was not a 2.0. This one is an R2.0 board. And I really, really wanted this one to work. But sadly, I think there is something wrong with the board. I went over the capacitors on it again. I don't find any bulged or busted ones. So I'm not sure what is wrong with it, but it's done. That's fine. We're going to get to the ITX. I think you're going to like that better anyway. So we'll get this unhooked here. I'm not going to mess around with it and throw different memory and stuff at this one because I can tell you it's done. This board's done. We can try to do what saved the Intel board just for nostalgic purposes. And we'll just plug in one memory slot. And we'll go all the way back here to the fourth one, okay? So we'll do that just to say we tried it. But I can tell you it's not going to work because I've had memory all through this thing. Just when I say that, it'll post. No, that's not going to happen. Wishful thinking. All right. So we're officially done with it. And I'm officially out of the FX business. And as soon as I say that, I'll find one on Marketplace and go get the dang thing. That's how that works. As soon as you say you're not buying another certain thing, you're going to go get it. Vashira Architecture FX8370. Yep, that's the Vashira's a good one. I love these Sabertooth boards too. But man, I got two of these now that's stuck in there and ain't never coming out. I hate that power supply. I don't even know why I use it. Yes, I do, because it's about the only one I got. That's okay. The next thing we're going to put it in, it'll work. I haven't found the bracket for it. I'll show you what I'm talking about when I get it up here in a minute. We're going to need that power supply. There we go. This thing we can just pull the graphics card out of because I'm done messing with that one. I'm not kidding you. I'm going to wash my hands on these FX boards. I'll take the 8320 out of it in case I decide to unwash my hands in it one day, if you know what I mean. And find another board or pick one up in a bulk purchase or something. Then we can try, you know, the CPU or whatever we need to. All right. Who wants to see a mini ITX build? Raise your hand. I do. I got my hand raised. I want to see one. So here we go. Old Bit Phoenix case. You want to talk about nostalgia? This one will bring it up. It is so old it's sticky, and I hate it. The plastic got sticky on it. But I have this thing all tore down, and there is dust and hair and you name it just falling out everywhere. But without further ado, check out this little guy. If that doesn't scream nostalgia, I don't know what does. So look in here. This little AMD board has got a laptop processor basically in the board. Excuse me. I'm going to sneeze a little bit. All the dust there, probably. But you see the little janky CPU cooler here. This is it. Oh, I see the hands raised. Good job. You guys figured out how to do that. All right. Let's put a graphics card in it. Although we don't have to because I'm pretty sure that it's an A-series processor. So we don't need to do that. The Little Bit Phoenix case was cool back in the day for sure. This isn't a high horsepower unit, just so you know. It was basically for, I think when we originally built this for him, it was for streaming, Plex and stuff. And he had it hooked up to his TV where he could watch movies and stuff with it. So back in the day, you know, a decade ago or so, that was a pretty cool setup for him to have when he was in high school. Well, he's a full-blown adult now, so it's probably been more than 10 years ago. That's probably just everything's been, if it's been a long time for me, it's 10 years. I just say 10 years, right? Everything that was a long time, that's just 10 years. But really, in reality, sometimes it's 15 or 12, or sometimes it's even 20 years. So my 10 years could be anything. The power supply bracket in the back is what it's missing. That's the only thing it's missing. I got all the sides and stuff for it, but all this plastic is sticky. And the bottom plastic is warped and it busted on me and you name it. It's because it's old. Kind of like me. We get a little bit sticky when we age, and we get stuff like shingles like I got now, and that's just aggravating. My leg is killing me. It's on fire. But you just got to fight through the stuff. And that's what I'm doing. I didn't go get medicine because I'd rather let my immune system build up on this one this time. And maybe, because it's the second time I've had them in the last 15 years. So maybe we can stretch that out a little bit. All right, we need to hook a 24 pin up, and then we'll see if we can get her to post. And I'm pretty sure we can. Mostly because I cheated and already did it. All right, so we got a graphics card in there. Well, I don't think we need a graphics card. I'm pretty sure this is an A series, so we probably don't need one. But let's just find out what it is. I hate missing these power supply brackets, but you've seen me, if you've been watching the channel, custom build one of those one day. So a guy's not afraid to go out in a shop, cut some metal up, and get one built. Oh, it has a PS2 port, one of my favorite motherboards. Okay, let's get our HDMI cable so you can see what I see on screen here. That bad boy plugged in. We only got about 25 feet of it hanging out, so let's turn the power supply on. Oh, keyboard flash, nothing smoking. That's a good sign. Let's fire it up. Oh, where do you start this one at? We did put memory in it. There we go. Fans are turning. Oh, we plugged a cable into the wrong thing, but it'll be fine. It's still going to post, and it probably will even put out video. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll work on that now. I'll pound this delete key so we can get into the BIOS if it comes up. I'm looking over at the OBS because I think it'll come up over there before it comes up over here. Imagine that, right? Okay, it's not going to work because we have the, I know it's because we have the graphics card in it. So if you got a graphics card in, it'll disable the onboard. Usually, some of them will anyway. Some of them I think you can do that way, but some of them it'll disable the onboard graphics. So let's try this again. All right. Let's see if we post, and actually post. Yep, there it is. Right into the BIOS. We do have a UEFI BIOS. That's cool, right? So this little built-in CPU, laptop CPU ITX board right here is called, I don't know what it's called. CPU 1700. System language. We got 8 gigs of memory in it. BIOS is build date's 11/9 of 2016. So really it wasn't that long ago. I said 10 years and I was wrong. And hey, the BIOS battery's even good in it, right? So it's not showing us what great CPU we have, but we might be able to go through the settings and figure it out right here. There we go. We have an AMD A8 5545M APU with Radeon HD graphics running at 1700 megahertz. Wow. This one ain't breaking the bank, is it? But it works. You see that? We have an AMD A series. I don't have any problem getting these A series to light up. We tested an A10 one day and it lit up just fine. But I have all the panels for this. The only thing I don't have is the, I just said it a minute ago, the mounting bracket for the power supply. I can look around his room and see if I can find it and look in the closet, but man, this case right here, it's kind of folded in on the bottom so it don't sit flat anymore, and that's just from having stuff stacked on it in his room probably. We could put a hard drive in it and boot it, right? No, because we don't have solid state drive because we don't have our hard drives in yet. That's great. There's the old one here. That dust got me. Excuse me. I'm about to sneeze my brains out here. All right. This is an old school slow hard drive, and I don't even know if I want to pull this one up because it was my kids, and there ain't no telling what was on it. I don't want to take it. I don't want to show anything on his from high school because you just don't know. You can't trust everything, right? I got a 500 gig Barracuda though. How long you reckon it'd take us to load Linux on this thing? Probably forever. Let's shut it down and give it a shot. I got Linux on a flash drive. We got some SATA ports here, so it is an old hard drive, so if it takes too long, we'll just shut her down, which it's probably going to be honest with you guys. It is a 500 gig, though, so if we get World of Tanks on it, we can play it. Hey, I wonder if this little A series will do that with a GTX 1050. Put your hand up if you think that it will. You think this old A8 mini ITX build here would run World of Tanks? Oh, there's our boot drive, so we can plug that bad boy in. We can go USB 3.0, so maybe it'll install faster than what I think it will, but we're going to find out. We first got to get to the boot menu. Oh, we can do it because it'll go right into the BIOS, right? Okay, so we got the hard drive plugged in here. Barracuda 500 gig Seagate. And we fired it up. We're going to delete in here so we can boot from the hard drive. So we'll go to, I guess, boot. And boot prompt to, we're already set up right there, UEFI. So we'll take that. We're going to do F10, I guess. Let's save that and let's see if it'll boot into there. Thanks, Greg. That dust just got to me immediately. It just got. Okay, so we're loading into the. I guess on Zorin you'll load into the live first, and then from there you can. Once you load into the live, then you can do the install on it. So we'll let it do that. 6+, what is that? That's BioStar. Oh, that's our motherboard, 6 times. So we got a BioStar motherboard. I forgot to mention that. This has a checksum that it's going to do. And while it's doing that, I'm going to keep talking to you. But I'm also going to go find me a drink because I'm thirsty. So I'll keep speaking to you, and you can see the device running down here on the camera. And you can obviously see the screen, so you'll know the progress as much as I do. But I am going to go pour me a glass of tea. I'm going to pick up my cans that were laying here too. It must be thunder now. The little dog's all fired up. Hopefully the camera didn't cut out too bad on you. How are we looking over here? That was worth it. You guys can take a break too. We're at 38%. It says we can press Control C to cancel that. So let's try that. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I hit Control C. Is my keyboard on? That ain't gonna do no good because my keyboard's not even lit up. How can you hit Control C without a keyboard? Let's try a different one. Let's get our little USB keyboard out. Let's see if we can do this Control C thing and check this, or skip this check. It's at 50%. Oh, here we go again. Maybe I just won't be impatient with this. I'll just let it go through. We're at 55%, so we'll see how long it takes here. This is like installing an operating system in real time, guys and gals. Let me turn you up here where you can see me. There we go. It's like installing it in real time. So you're looking at Zorin OS right here. This is becoming my favorite go-to. I'm not even kidding when I say that. Zorin OS is becoming one of my favorite go-to OSs here. I like it. We'll do the... we'll put World of Tanks, and we got 500 gigs to play with on this drive. I really wish the boot drive was in, but I'm just curious, even if we got to run this through a Tuesday video and clean this case up, see what takes all this sticky stuff off and get this thing put together. I'm curious what kind of little rig we got here, right? How many of you remember this old BitPhoenix case like this? Here's the front panel to it. I got the sticky off it with Dawn dish soap and scrubbing it, so it's not sticky no more and come out pretty nice, actually. And then I got the side panels down here, and one of them has the USBs on it, so you can see we got a couple USB 2.0s there. The power, reset, and audio is all on the front panel here. And it looks like all the cables for that is here. Of course, the USB 3 is going to require a connection on the motherboard. And I'll bet you that this little motherboard don't have one. That's what I'll bet you. And I'll bet I'm right because I don't see one on there, but you could always adapt the 2 to the 3. Right on, right on. We do have the hard drive base for this one here. So right there's a hard drive cage that goes in it. We have power supply options to run this little janky thing. Oh, what's it doing now? I think it might be finally loading into the live. There it is right there. Look at that. That is going to be our live install coming up. We're just going to do it live. That's how it's going to be. We're just going to do it live now. Oh, we got sound too through our monitor. Did you hear it? It was a little loud. We might have to turn her down some, but we have it. Let's not try it. Let's go ahead and install it because we've tried it before. This is a pretty cool little unit right here. It's nice and quiet too. Of course, it don't have a fan in it except for the one on the graphics card. And if you want to call that a fan right there on the CPU, you're welcome to. Normal, third-party software, graphics, hardware, Wi-Fi. That's fine. That's fine. All of it's fine. We'll do what they say here. Let's see if it shows our hard drive. And this might take a while, but I'm not doing nothing else right now. I don't know about you guys and gals, but if you're not doing nothing, I'm not doing nothing. Let's go ahead and install it. Let's see if we can make it work on the little AMD A8, I think we decided it was. How many cores is that? What is that processor even? I don't even know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know how many cores it is, but what is it? It's a parent. Oh, great. Now my phone battery's about dead. Unbelievable. I don't know. It's like when it rains, it pours. The phone battery's low. I'm sneezing like crazy from the dust on this thing, and good night. I just can't get it right today. It's a Monday on a Thursday. How is that even possible? I don't know. There we go. Normal installation. Let's leave that. We already checked all that. Would you just go to the next phase of your thing? Erase disk and install Zorn OS. That's about what I was thinking we wanted to do here. Continue. Well, if you ever wondered how to install Zorn OS, this is how you do it. What's our name today? A8. That's what the processor is. So we'll call ourselves A8 today. Password. Oh, we'll make that simple. Automatically log in. Oh, we don't have no Ethernet hooked to this guy, so she probably wasn't downloading no updates while she was installing. That might make the install just a tad bit quicker. We're going to leave it unhooked. 4 cores. We got all the cores, Steve. All of them. We got all 4 cores working. It might run it. Who knows? I mean, we might be able to put World of Tanks on it and run it. I'm not going to say we can't, because I really don't know what we can do. I used to actually do iRacing with an A10 6800K back in the day. So I had one of those set up with 16 gigs of RAM on it. And I actually crossfired the graphics with a graphics card. So you could literally crossfire the onboard graphics on those things with a graphics card. And I'm thinking it was like an R9 260, if that's, or an R7 260, if that sounds right, that I crossfired it with. But it actually worked decent a decade ago or so. And I think after that, I ended up going with the 8320, and I used the 8320 for quite a while on iRacing. And then I switched to Intel, and I went to the 4770K. So no, that wasn't the first one I went through. I think the 1366 i7 920 might have been the first one. And you know how, watching my videos, I'm a big fan of the 1366. Always have been and always will be. To me, it was one of the greatest processors ever made. And I still stand by that, because even on my Nova Bench test, my 1366s rank in better than 70% of all systems tested on Nova Bench. And that's saying something for a processor that come out in 2009. We're in 2025 now, so that one, they don't have AVX2 or none of the modern instruction support. So for modern gaming, they're not the best option. Yes, I can still do iRacing on them. I can still do iRacing on those, and I can make the Oculus work on them too. So that's nice to have. We're copying files right now and installing, so we can't really do anything on the operating system. I could just talk and look stupid. You guys are used to that, right? If you watch the videos, that's what I do. I talk and I look stupid most of the time. Now my nose is running a little bit, so I apologize for that. I did it to myself, though, when I busted out the dust thing, and I said, hey, I got an idea. Let's take this mini ITX setup that's been sitting for years and that's got dust all over it, and let's not blow it off. Let's just dump the dust off right in front of us and the dog fur and everything, and boom, there went the allergies. So the A8 5545M is a 4-core beast. 8 gigs of RAM. If I had 8 gig modules, I'd probably put 16 in it. I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys though, I'm kind of contemplating stopping the live stream until we get this installed and I get a game on it. Maybe I'll fire the live stream back up later or tomorrow. I don't know. Or that might be it for the week. I wish you could see my leg. I'll show you what I got going on. Shingles suck. That's all part of getting old, but shingles suck. So don't get them. Get the vaccine. That's what I'll tell you. Get the vaccine. I'm letting this one naturally go through its paces, and it is finally, after about a week and a half or 2 weeks, the rash is finally starting to subside and go down a little bit, but it'll make you sick. Your body will ache. You'll get fevers. My leg hurts like hell. My back hurts. So that's what it does. Get the vaccine if you're over 50. But once I got it, I didn't want to. You can go get medicine for it. I know that because I've had them before. Last time I had them on my back and it really hurt, but I got the medicine for that to get rid of it. This time I thought, since it was just on my leg, wasn't in, on my back or nothing, it was causing some discomfort. But I figure it's better for one's immune system if you don't get treated and let your natural immunity build up to it. And maybe, that would work better than anything else, but maybe I'm just being an idiot. I don't know. You tell me if you've ever went through that before, if you ever had shingles. The first time I had them, I was 30 years old. And when my doctor told me that's what it was, I laughed. I said, there's no way a 30-year-old has shingles. But sure enough, that's what it was. And now at 50, 20 years later, got them again. 51, but got them again. So you can get the, what do they call it? The shingles vaccine or something like that. You can get that when you're over 50, and I think they'll give it if you're, I think for people who have compromised immune systems, they can get it before then too, but I think it's called the Shinglex or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to get it. After I let it run its course this time, maybe next year I'll go get it, or a couple of years. I went 20 years in between the 2 times that I had it, so I don't know. I'm letting it run its course this time and let my immune system build up. Yeah, I was talking to, I do the racing stuff on iRacing, so I have a league on there that's got a lot of people in it. And one of those guys, one of his relatives, or he worked with a guy that actually had it in his eye. So that's got to be a hell of a place to have it. And I know that people get it on their face and all kinds of stuff. So I'm fortunate that it's on my upper thigh, on my right leg. So, but it is a pretty big spot. Enough about that stuff. I done ran half the people off. They're like, damn, some bitch gonna give me shingles. I'm not gonna do that. That's not what I'm shooting for here. I hope nobody gets them, because I know what they feel like. Because I don't wish that upon nobody. We're copying files, but I don't think that's the whole install on this thing. Dang, man, if we just had our solid state drives in, or our USB drives. My original thought for tonight's stream was I'll get the motherboard so you guys remember it. But my original thought, and it's the whole reason that I ordered those thumb drives, flash drives, is we were going to do a BIOS update on this. Because I looked at the revision of the board and everything, the Rev 1.01, and I have got the correct BIOS downloaded for it, I know for a fact. And apparently, if you didn't know this, this is the proper USB port right here to flash this BIOS, according to the instructions that I got. So we're going to try that, and we're going to see if we can get our Asus board to work right. We know that it works fine, but we're going to see if we can get it to work right. So maybe we'll do that on next week's stream. But I'll be honest with you, pulling out this little A series was pretty cool. It was. When I seen that sitting in there the other day, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great, because I'll be able to use that on one of the live streams. I really want to waste a Tuesday video with it because I'm not going to build it, more than likely. If I do, it'll just be to give it to him so he can go back to using it again. But other than that, I'm not going to. Yeah, Steve, that board, if you haven't seen the live stream on that one, and I think it might have been the first or second live stream I did, that board has a problem when you, it'll power up fine and it'll work fine while you're using it. But as soon as you shut it off, you can't get it to repower unless you cycle the power supply off and back on again. It will not refire unless you cycle the power supply. So that was a weird issue with it. I've done BIOS updates before, but I don't know that I used that specific USB port when I did it. So that's the only thing in the instructions that I may not have done. And I never knew that they were that particular to which port you used anyway. So, and I don't think they are, but the instructions that I got say that. So that's what a guy's going to go ahead and try to do. We're going to go to the next part of this install, though. So it's like watching paint dry. If you like to watch paint dry, you come to the right channel tonight. Oh, I think I hear my wife too. So she's probably home. I'm going to call it a win if we can just get Zorn on this thing. I don't know that we can, but I'll call it a win if we do. My nose is still running like crazy. That's why I'm sniffling so dang much. That's because I'm standing next to the dust bowl on this case. I'm going to have to pause out the microphone for a second, though. So I will return in just a minute. All right, I'm back. Had to go over the dinner plans real quick. Oofta. If you know what jambalaya is, that is what's on the dinner menu here in the household tonight. So yeah, I think you might have been in that stream, Steve, if I recall correctly. I think you might have been in there, actually. All right, so we are, it says it's almost finished copying the files here. So does it install them after that? Is that part quicker? Is it slower? I don't know. We're going to find out. This monitor is awesome, though. This Scepter 30 or 24-inch curved, this thing works great. I'm going to go ahead and turn you guys down. I got you about 10 foot up in the air on this setup right here, but there's the 24-inch monitor right there. So you can see it. Oh my God, and there's the stand I got for it because it didn't have a stand. So I found that little stand at a church community sale. So my wife and I went to a church community sale, And I walk in there literally. It looked like a lot of stuff had been picked through. And I picked up that monitor stand. Oh no. Oh, don't tap the stand. It'll go out. No, I picked up that monitor stand. I took it up there and I said, how much? And the lady's like, $1. So I bought the stand for $1 and I mounted our Scepter monitor that didn't have a stand onto it. So that's how we got our 24-inch curve monitor set up. And I thought, you know what? This will be a great monitor to replace the old HP that I had up here. So that's what I did. And then I got the HP 440 out the other day, and I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and get stuff in it, try to get this back together and working again. Because, you know, I worked on that on another stream, and we tested it and used it. And I put World of Tanks on it, and I was actually having fun, you know, playing around with World of Tanks. And then, what the hell? I don't know how we keep knocking that out, but we do. I'll be glad when it's done copying the files. Probably not as bad, probably not as happy or glad as what you 7 people watch it'll be. It's not as fast paced as most of my streams are, where we're throwing different stuff up here and testing it. This is a little different. I think the BIOS update would have made a nice one, because we could have went, for me, it'd have been like round 4 with that board. Nice. Got a pair of Dell 1080s. Heck yeah, that's a good setup right there. I use 324s on the editing rig. So the rig we're streaming on. And we do have the regular editing rig hooked back up. The Alienware is not on there this week. I figured out how to make the camera work on it. Obviously, you see me do it in the beginning of this video. I know Steve was in here when I did it. So I made it work on here, and that's good. It wasn't easy. Other than that, though, the rig's been working just fine. I put the capture card in it. The capture card works on it, so we don't have any problems there. As you can see from the Zorn screen on the install behind you. But that was a nice addition too. We finally got the longer cables in. I got the longer cables in, so I was able to hook it up and run it over here. So that's good stuff right there. Okay, we're installing the system now. So it did change and do something. This may take too long to do on the live stream. I don't know. We'll have to see what the progress bar does. Sometimes these things will get going and they'll just zip through, but other times it ain't going to happen that way. Oh, look at that. We picked up about 20% right at the start. We do not have Ethernet hooked into it, which might make the install slightly faster, would be my guess, but we are installing to an old 7200 RPM Barracuda 500 gig hard drive. So we are installing to an antique hard disk here. That's only because we don't want to use our 128, because by the time you put World of Tanks on it, you can't put there ain't even enough room for World of Tanks to do an update. And that's what we ran into, and that's because on the HP, we're waiting for the NVMe drives to come in, because we haven't seen either one of those yet. And yeah, this is probably going to take a hot minute. I'll tell you what, my legs standing here this long starting to kill me too. Ugh. Mercy. I wish this would install faster. I need a magic wand. I could just doop and boom. We'd be installed. We'd have whatever we want on here. Pick a Windows game. So if you're watching this, pick a Windows game. Just pick one at random. That got to be a Windows game, not a Linux game, on Steam. And we will see if it works. We'll see if it works with Proton. or whatever else. I did World of Tanks, which is a Windows game, and I made it work on the Linux Zorin. But ultimately, I think what I want to start focusing on more is for me trying different games out, because mostly what I've done for years has been iRacing and World of Warcraft. Was it Ark that I played for a while? Probably was Ark. But I haven't done a ton of gaming. I've done some Call of Duty and stuff like that, but not very much. But I really enjoyed the little bit of time I got to spend on World of Tanks when I had it working yesterday. So I really enjoyed that. It sucks that it's not working today, because that would have been kind of fun to do on the live stream after Amazon crushed my hopes and my dreams. No, they didn't crush that. They just didn't get my package when they said they would, and I didn't have my live stream in order. And then, of course, when you guys tuned into it, I didn't have my live stream in order. We didn't have a camera or nothing. We had nothing. So we had to get all of it working, and which we did. And now we got a camera, and obviously we got a capture card, which is nice. And we got the stream up and working good now. So, I don't know. We're about 65, 70%. I don't know. The blue bar goes over to the right, and then it just bounces back an inch. So I don't know what it's doing. It's not downloading nothing because we don't have any Ethernet cable plugged into this guy. And then I did it on purpose. It's got NVIDIA generic drivers that says it's doing now, because we do have a GTX 1050 card in here. And it is a 2 gig card that doesn't even plug into a power adapter. So we got an antique card in here. And we're at probably 60% or better here. It's doing NVIDIA generic drivers now. I don't know, it might not take much longer. I'm going to let it fly for a little bit more here before I throw the towel in on it. Before I throw the towel in on our mini ITX setup. I do appreciate all of you that have toughed it out here. It's been a rough one for me. It was a rough start to it. But we've struggled and we fought through it, and we got our, what did we try first? Gosh, we've been through like 4 different pieces now. We had the Dell XPS up here with Windows 7 on it, and I got it out of the way. I put the HP Z440 up to find out we didn't have enough memory space to play World of Tanks because it wouldn't update. And then I got the Sabertooth motherboard up, and we couldn't get it to light up after a few tries. And then I thought about this one because I'd pulled it out the other day just for doing a stream or something on it. So we were able to throw it up here, but we didn't have a hard drive for it. We do, but we don't want to use that one. And we don't have any of our NVMe drives in, or no good solid state drives to use. So this is what you get stuck with. And I believe that we are at a point of waiting, honestly. I think we're at a point of waiting now. But if you're just tuning in or just tuned in, we are installing Zorin OS. The Zorin OS 17 Pro, to be exact. So if you're familiar with Zorin, then you don't need to know anything on it. But if you're not familiar with Zorin, this will be a good stream for you to know exactly how to install it on your computer. And of course, you'll be able to go in after you get it installed, and you can go to the, I'll show it, it'll have a software hub in it. When you go into the software hub, you can put Steam in and download your Steam. I appreciate that. I've tried to. I try to do that on each stream, and I know that normally if I was going to install an operating system, I would already have done that before I do any kind of live stream or anything. But I'm fresh out of solid state drives, guys. I can't make that up. I'm just fresh out of them. Fresh out of them. And I have a couple ordered, but I knew it was going to take a while because they come from Evil Bay. So I knew it wasn't going to be quick that we got those. So It really don't matter, honestly. Plus, I've got other stuff going on. Tuesday night video stuff, getting content ready and stuff like that. That mini ITX case is really cool. That Cooler Master one, the white one. I can't wait to do a build on that. And if we hit the 1,000 subscriber count, then that might likely be in one of our subscribers' hands. And I'll tell you what, with 1,000 subscribers, the odds would be pretty good of winning that. But I'll have to come up with rules and stuff on that before I do it. And we need to be at 1,000 or more subscribers too. So we may not even have that by the time we get there. I don't know yet. So we're getting close to the end of this install, I hope. So what's going on in all of your world? What are you working on the PC side of things right now? I have not been doing much on it. I have been resting a little bit with this disadvantage to my leg. That's what we'll call it right now. A slight hindrance. So I haven't been 100%. I feel pretty good today, though. I'm not gonna lie. I feel pretty good today, except for the dust that was on this poor case right here that ultimately tried to take a guy out, but it didn't. Nope, it didn't. I remember back in the day, I used to grab the cursor and just drag it across real fast like that, hoping that it would get it to install faster, but it might seem like it does, but it doesn't. Oh, there's Amazon. Finally. It's delivered. Our USB sticks are delivered right now. Thanks, Amazon. I hope you're watching this. I appreciate that because we needed that shit an hour and a half ago. All right. Can't make it up. Story of my life. This is going to take forever. I mean, once we got towards the end of this thing, it's dragging along and dragging along. So I need to get dinner. And then I don't know if you guys aren't doing anything later. After dinner, I'll fire up the live stream and we'll have World of Tanks or one of the other games on here from Windows. And we'll test the little AMD A4 tonight if you want to, or A8 tonight if you want to do that. So we'll test the quad core with 8 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1050. And I'm thinking I might do that, but we still got, if you've noticed, this last 20% or so on this install is just slowed down to a crawl. And we don't have any of the updates done on it yet. And we'll have to do that after it's done. And I need to go get dinner and honestly just take a break from this thing for a minute. So probably for now, I'm going to go ahead and call it on the live stream. And maybe I'll get back after dinner. Yeah, I'll try to jump back on here later because that'll give me time to get this installed. And then we can actually have something to do instead of sitting and watching this operating system drag its ass installing. That's the best way to put it. So I will catch you guys later on and we will get right back on this. I promise. I promise that you'll see it installed on there. Craig, I appreciate everything, buddy. PC Steve, you too. You guys, you hung through there, and we made progress here. So progress is being made, but I promise you, when I turn the live stream back on, it'll be done. So thank you. Tune in to the next live stream. I appreciate it, guys.